Hey, everybody. I'm going to tell you a story about the traumatic death of my father. And it has a lot to do with kind of who I've become. So, just an FYI, the field I'm in, I've worked with children and families for my entire adult career, over about 25 years, I'd say now. And this story is frustrating to me because I should be able to kind of cope a little bit better, but the story's deeper than that. Um, Long story short, it's a place called Jenkinson's in New Jersey, and the place is nothing, in my opinion, but a fucking death trap. So we went there in September of 2020, and we were invited there, as most people in the public are. The beach entrance was open deliberately. We pulled up, and the parking attendant said, "Hey, all the gates are closed except for Arnold Avenue." Very specifically and very important detail. You have to go through that entrance to access the beach, but you cannot swim. Understood. We weren't wearing bathing suits. It was a little chilly. Beautiful day, but chilly. So we followed Jenkinson's very specific directions. Went on the beach. We were there for, gosh, man, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. And as my dad, my wife, and my, at the time, 7-year-old son are down away from me, they are towards the water, but not in the water. Unbeknownst to us, because there were no warnings put up by Jenkinson's, per their own internal requirements, there was a hurricane off the coast. And as they are on the sand, not in the water, not wading in the water, but as most people do, my dad was wearing jeans, pants, to avoid sand getting all up in the cuffs and in his jeans and whatnot. He rolled his jeans up, and he's walking along. A rogue wave comes up, literally takes my dad out, knocks him down out of nowhere. My dad's on the sand. A wave came up. Gosh, man, it got to be 15 feet further than what was anticipated where the previous waves were going. Maybe even 20 feet. I don't know. The wave knocked him down because it came all the way up to his knees. And as it starts going back, he sinks, pulls him down. The waves keep coming. And with every wave, he gets pulled out further and further and further. I see this happening, so I run down and I go to try to grab him. But the waves literally ripped his hands out of my hand. My wife and my 7-year-old son are watching this unfold. My dad gets drug out further and further into the ocean. And all I remember to this day is his screaming, "Help, help." And I haven't told this story in a long time. I'll be honest, because of the trauma behind it, I tell it very mechanically often, to kind of remove my emotions from it. But that rings in my head over and over and over. So I'm yelling to him. I'm like, "I don't know, Dad, float on your back, swim diagonal," right? He does that, or tries to, and he yells back, "I can't. I'm swallowing water," as he says it, kind of gurgling. Somebody threw, I think, a beach chair at him to try to get him to grab it, but it wasn't far enough. And my wife ran back to see what street we were on and called 911. They showed up pretty quick. Unfortunately, when they got there and they grabbed my dad from the ocean, one of the officers couldn't even make it out there. They kept getting knocked over by the waves, and 2 officers went out there, grabbed him, brought him in. They started doing CPR. Eventually, EMTs came. My dad was dead. He died in front of us. And that day will forever rewire me, who I am. Trauma is really no joke. The kicker of it all is Jenkinson's took very specific pictures of things. They closed the gate after the incident happened, and then they took a picture of the gate closed. On depositions, the owners lied, sent depositions, and you could always get a hold of those. But they lied, and they got their previous mayor, who became an assemblyman, to try to jump in, do a news report, and bring attention to it. Funny thing is, Jenkinson's lied again, and they closed a public access gate that they're required to maintain on a different part of their property that they're required to keep open by state legislation. And they closed that gate to gain the attention of the state. And then they lied and said, see, we have to keep gates open. I have pictures and I have video of them closing the gate every single night and closing it during inclement weather during the winter. So once again, caught with their pants down. This is all fact, and I have it all. They've got it all. But they went in and they lied. Goes to court, and we're still going through the process now. And being in the field that I'm in mental health and behavioral health, I've worked with a lot of people in trauma, a lot of different traumatic situations, and it's really frustrating because I'm not able to completely regulate myself now, because trauma is something that rewires who you are, your personality, irritability. It rewires everything about you. And I've been having a real struggle overcoming this. I'm sorry this video is long, but it's a story that should probably be told. This is just something that I wanted to share, so kind of people understood kind of who I am, where I'm coming from, but also more importantly, be safe. These companies out there, Jenkinson very specifically, they don't care. It's profit over people, period. They will absolutely let anything on their property take your life. They'll remove the signs. And right now there is a legislation that they are trying to shove down the throats of New Jerseyans that are trying to take away the responsibility on the beach owners to have to put up flags and whatnot. So they're trying to say that no matter what, if you go on the beach, they have no liability whatsoever, even though they own it and Jenkinson is a private beach. And because their old buddy, who's an assemblyman now and a real POS, is trying to shove this down legislation. It's been brought up twice, and they're trying to bring it to the Appropriations Committee so that it could surpass different votes. And this puts everybody at risk because it means that they have no liability regardless who you are, where you enter, and how it happens. They strip the requirements for them to put signs up, flags up, and explanation of what the flags mean. So that's a story for another day. But it's just information. It's my story. It's who I am, and I think I'll build on this a little bit.